Welcome to Brisbane Small Business. That seemed to take forever there. Both Melissa and I were sitting there staring at the screen. Melissa Langdon, how are you today?
I'm fantastic. How are you, Kevin, after a long weekend? The fog is lifting.
I know, in so many different ways. Yeah, I went down to see my parents this weekend, which was fantastic. First time since COVID started, so first time in 18 months. They're not getting any younger, that's for sure. So you're going to help talk to us today about communication.
Sure am. Part of it anyway. The really important part being meetings, and probably the most frustrating part.
Come on, we've all been to meetings that we didn't want to go to. And we've all been to meetings that seem to not go for the design. So, yeah, so really, it is a really critical part. So who is this for?
This is for anyone in the services-based industry, people that have to get results through other people. So if your outcomes for your business or outcomes for your clients require on other people contributing to that, this will actually give you these real tools that will help you become more effective and have a bit of fun while you're doing it as well.
Cool. Could it even help in relation to sales professionals and going out for sales meetings? Because that's a place where you need to get a result.
Absolutely. It's really important to understand that there's a specific outcome that you require. So I'm going to give even some tips and tricks around people reading. How do you actually understand? Because have you ever noticed, Kevin, when you're talking to someone and just a word can set them off and you go, wow, what was that reaction? I didn't think change was such an issue. But I'm going to give you some tips around that as well.
No, it never happened to me at all. Awesome. So, of course it has. So communication, I reckon, we were talking before and you said, hey, it's probably the number one problem in business. Because as soon as two people have to talk about stuff, the opportunity for confusion, just comes up. And if you've got more than two, then it comes up even louder and faster. So, so absolutely really cool thing. So 3 tips. Or tell me a little bit more about the program that you're running next week.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give you 5 effective conversations to have in a business. So I'm not talking about every time you have a conversation or every time you have to communicate. It's okay, now what do I need to say? What do I need to do? But it's actually having structured conversation, because when you look at being a leader in a business or having to get a result, you need to have some preparation around it. I'm going to give you those tips around how to do that.
Cool. So 5 different conversations. Can we tell people today what those conversations are?
Absolutely. So first of all, it's really focused around ideas. So it's around a framework. So there's 5 steps in that framework. Understanding and measuring. So that's around ideas. Then guess what? Delegation. That is a really, really important conversation to have. And not a lot of people are effective at that. So I'm going to give you some tips around that. Then there's also feedback. And Kevin, I think you've got a lot to say about this, but when it comes to feedback, it's how to get effective feedback, but how to give it. And then the dreaded meetings, so what that will actually look at. But then around innovation. So how do we have good conversations? Because have you ever had a conversation, Kevin, with someone and they give you a great idea and you just look at them, which universe are you in? That's not practical at all. And you have to try and tell them that that's really not going to work, but I don't want to offend them. I'm going to give you some tips around that. It's
I think everyone talking to me needs to get that one. Yes. I keep coming up with ideas and people go, hey, slow down. It really is. So they're really 5 cool. So ideas, all about ideas. And in ideas, what was the thing there?
So it's innovation. So understanding how to actually give the feedback around and building conversations around innovation. But a lot of the time when people talk about that, it's literally a brainstorming session. And have you ever been in a brainstorming session when you look at it, go, they are fantastic, but none of them practical. We've just wasted 2 hours around that. So just giving some structure around that and understanding what building ideas are. And then the next one was delegation. So how to do that effectively. Then we're looking at meetings.
Because so many people, when we talk about delegation, just go, okay, so this is what I want, blah, 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 wrap it up in a tight little ball, here you go, and handball it off, and then they think that's the end of their job.
Absolutely. Or alternatively, they give someone so much information, they just sit there and just go, I'm not going to remember all of that. So I'll just do a little bit and then give it to them. So I'm going to give you some tips around personality as well. So just remember, Kevin, it's personality, not personal.
Absolutely, very much so. I like to talk about energy profiles and things like that. Subtle difference on the thing. But
all
yeah,
the same stuff, to be
look,
honest, Kevin. All the same stuff.
This sounds really awesome. Now, if someone leaving this at the end of their 60 minutes, having a chat with you or watching you and asking questions as you go through, what are they going to leave with?
3 things. They will have 3 things to take away. Focused on meetings. So these meetings can be a lot of people or just one-on-one. So the first thing that they will get is looking at a preparation checklist. I'm actually going to give you what should you be doing in a meeting and preparing for it. Secondly, I'm going to give you a meeting code of conduct. So this is really important when we talk about values or how you actually want to do business with your customers, clients, or with your team. And then thirdly, I'm going to give you an evaluation checklist. So did you do what you say you were going to do? So you're going to walk away with those 3 practical tools.
Hey, that sounds like you're going to get us to constantly improve what we're doing. Fantastic.
I'll try.
Really good opportunity. I love the idea of improving our communication and something that we all need to do. I know I definitely need to improve my communication. So inconsistent sometimes. So I'm going to be there for sure. Really looking forward to it. Now, your workshop is what day?
Tuesday next week.
At what time?
10 o'clock on the dot.
Awesome. So Tuesday, 10 o'clock, we will put a link for that in under the comments here as soon as we finish. And but thank you very much for your time today, Melissa.
Thank you, Kevin, for all the work that you're doing with your team. It's really fantastic.
Thank you. Look, it has been a challenge, absolutely, but so much fun and so grateful for the number of people that are getting involved in it all the time. So I appreciate the thoughts.
Pleasure.